Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to The Other Side with Fariha and Talat. Today, women have just about 3/4 of the legal rights that men have. 50 years ago, in 1970, it was half. Clearly, according to the World Bank, there's been a lot of progress that has been made by countries in inclusivity for women in the workforce. Some countries did better than others. Amongst the top countries that did really well on this, on getting legal rights for women, were countries like Portugal, like Luxembourg, like Ecuador, and incredibly, it will come as no surprise that this very same countries that invested in women, that invested in inclusivity and created laws for women, actually did economically better. And this ties in a lot to research that says when you have women on boards, the company does better. And there's been tons of research on this. March is all about women. 9th of March was International Women's Day, and this is a great month for us to celebrate women. I think it's really important that we, as a country, Pakistan, all the countries start to invest in anti-discriminatory laws, start to include more women in the workforce. This can only lead to better economic progress. I go back to my time, and I think 1990, I'd just been married 1 year, and I was invited by a multinational bank for an interview. I'll never forget this. And I remember going in for this interview, and I won't name the bank, and before they could even ask me about my competencies or my skill sets or the stuff that I could do, they said, "Are you married?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, so any plans of starting a family?" And I said, "Well, maybe not immediately, but maybe in a couple of years." And then we progressed with the interview. And the interview was, to me, was like, I walked out saying, "I've nailed it. This is it. I'm getting the offer tomorrow." About a week later, I get a call from somebody in the HR department. They're saying, "You interviewed really well, but, as a bank, we have a lot of work to do, and, it's going to be difficult if you're going to take maternity leave. You're going to plan a family. So I hope you understand our position." So this was 1990, a long, long time ago. And I'm sure, and I know things have changed, maybe not so much. But Fariha, what are your thoughts on this?
And I was thinking, actually, I wonder whether things have changed, Talat. And I've been thinking, I've been in HR again for over 2 decades, and roles, whether in Europe, whether in Asia, Middle East, Pakistan, we've had targets on women. And that means if we are focusing so much, that means there is a problem there, right? That's why there are targets that how many women we should have in the senior roles, junior roles, etc. But let me tell you one thing. When I relocated back, one thing that that came to me as a surprise, that still many companies, many large industries, they have a female workforce is only sort of 5%, 6%. And the reason that is being given is that women can't do sales. Women, particularly when you have to go out and meet customers, women can't work on, in the manufacturing sector. And so we, with the current company that I work for, we really wanted to break the barrier there. And we engaged with women who were studying or who professional degree engineers, and we offered them internship in one of our plants, which is in Kevra, and get them to work there, we had to speak to their families, not them only, because and a lot of them, after they completed their internship, they shared that we had never thought that we'd work for a company. And my question to them, why not? You're studying, doing a professional degree, and why would you think that way? So I think one area which is so important, but really, if we want to make progress, we have to start at the grassroots level. Otherwise, just putting certain targets, just focusing on having a daycare center will not solve the problem. So I'm really pleased and excited about the show today. And so who do we have?
Yes. So before we introduce our guests, what is our show about today? I think you could have guessed it. It's all about women and how they're progressing. And specific today, our focus is on Asian women or Pakistani women and how they are managing their careers in a Western society. So both the ladies we have today are Pakistanis, but are working in the UK and in the US. So that's what our show today is all about. And we have two incredible guests. We have Bushra Amiwala, and she's of Pakistani descent, clearly, but she grew up and has lived in Chicago since she was very, very young. Bushra is the youngest Muslim elected official in the USA, and I say Muslim, youngest elected Muslim, not woman, youngest elected Muslim official in the USA. At only 19, she's only 19 years old when she announced her candidacy for the Cook County Board of Commissioners with a goal to, serve marginalized communities. Her campaign and the stuff that she does has been covered nationally, internationally by Bloomberg, by the Chicago Tribune, the New York Times. We're incredibly excited to have her on the show today. Fariha?
Yes, and the second guest we have is Ayla Ahmed. She has 8 years of experience working in finance. Currently, she's working as a senior associate at Francisco Partners. It's a firm, they specialize in investing in global technologies. So it's an investment firm. And what is really remarkable about Ayla's academics, that she has she's been on the dean's list for 4 years. She's a graduate from Smith College. She's worked
from Smith, right? Smith College?
Smith College.
Okay.
That's and she's worked in Karachi, she's worked in London, she's worked in New York. And the way she describes herself is, I think, is amazing. She said being the only Pakistani, South Asian female at this firm has not come in way of success for her. And I think that's, a true testament of her competence. And we wish her all the best. And we are really excited to have her on the show.
Absolutely. So stay tuned to the other side with Fariha and Talat.